You're listening to Secrets of Tomorrow's Leaders, brought to you in partnership with JCI Santa Clarita and RK Studios. My name is Koren Young. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for JCI Santa Clarita, and I'm very pleased to be joined by my special guest today. These are the co-chairs of Santa's Helpers SCV. For the first time, we've got J.R. Hills and Justin Charles. Welcome, guys.
Hey, glad to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah, we've been trying to get this podcast going for a while. I know we got some time until Santa's Helpers begins, but I'm really glad to have you guys here.
Yeah, I'm glad you invited us. Really happy to talk about it.
So I've got here some pod decks that have some icebreaker questions that I did not tell you guys in advance.
No.
And when I had Brittany and Alex on, they crushed it. Well, one of them crushed it, but we'll see how well you guys do with these, because we just want to get you guys feeling pretty good and open.
Of course, yes.
So first question for JR, and it's kind of a toughie. What are your top 3 goals, and what are you doing to get there?
Oh, my top 3 goals. All right. I would say, well, getting through Santa's Helpers is the first one. That's a very big project for us. So
that is a big goal.
Yeah, that's the focus right now. And of course, another big focus. I have 2 new children in the house, so just trying to figure all that out, navigate 2 babies, and day in and day out, trying to figure out what they need, what we need to keep everybody alive and happy.
2 infants, that's 2 diapers all day, every day.
Yeah. Everything it's a mess, but no, it's fun. And then the third goal, I would say, oh gosh, what else? Oh, I just started performing. I play French horn, and I was able to pick it up again this year. So I'm trying to get my chops back up. So I joined a local orchestra and having a lot of fun there.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, it was Mission Orchestra, right?
Yes.
And you, for how long did you play French horn?
Oh gosh, for it was middle school, high school, and through college.
So 2, 4, like 10 years maybe?
3, 7, 11 years.
Yeah, wow.
And then stopped after college. I didn't have any reason to play after that, and then just picked it up. So it's been about 18 years since I've played, and yeah, it's been a great opportunity.
Is it like riding a bike where it's
it kind of is
back into it?
Yeah, these are muscles. Your mouth is a muscle, so you got to work it a little bit. But it's having to learn all the fingerings again and the different combinations and the scales and everything. That was pretty quick to pick back up.
Is it like a trumpet where there's only 3 valves?
There's actually 4.
4
so
valves.
There's a thumb as well.
Oh, okay.
On the French horn. Yeah.
So that's a lot of notes that you got to be able to play with just 4 fingers. So the rest is all done like with your mouth, and you're just
exactly. Yep. Your breath, air control, lip control. Yep.
That's tough. Okay, well, it's cool to see you get back into that.
Yeah.
Those are some 3 good goals. Justin, are you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay. What's your bucket list?
My bucket list.
Yeah, so not just I guess give us your top 3 things that you want to do before you die.
Maybe I'll give you one travel, which would be to go to Switzerland. I think that it always looks really beautiful. That's one of the top things on my Instagram is always like different videos and pictures of Switzerland. It's just a really pretty country, I think.
Okay, so because it looks
I'll
beautiful.
back that up.
Yes.
It's great. I've been there.
Okay. Awesome.
You have to
Good
go.
to know. Yeah. So that seems like number 1 travel goal on bucket list. I think as far as other things on my bucket list, I'll go with also getting better at public speaking. So this is helpful.
Okay.
Speaking to people is, I think, a really useful skill, especially if you're like in leadership.
Yeah.
Right. Being able to be an effective communicator is a good skill to have, and something that I'm always trying to work on. So I don't know that I'll ever be happy, but I think that'll just keep pushing me to get better and better and better at it.
Yeah, you can certainly get better for sure.
Right. And then 3, I guess to buy a house. Is that a simple one? It's a really simple one, but I think one that a lot of millennials.
I think it was a simple one in the 1950s.
Right.
These days it's increasingly difficult.
Yeah.
When you see houses here that our parents bought for $85,000 20 years ago, selling for like almost $1 million.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah, so I guess that's 3 goals, 3 different kinds of goals.
Cool. One of our members, Tom Island, actually has like an actual list that he's published, and I love seeing when he checks things off and he's like, hey, I finally did a marathon, I got to speak at the United Nations, I got to do, like, he does all these really cool things that, like, he actually makes little goals to get him there. And some of them I'm like, wait, was that always on your bucket list, or did you add that because you did that cool thing?
Right.
But either way, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
to
I
be
feel
doing
like
so
that would
much.
stress me out though. It's like
Having a list of 100
yeah,
things.
then it's like you have to do it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you just keep it in your head, then nobody knows, and then there's no expectations, and you kind of just then it's like it's easier to do because you're not pressuring yourself to reach
Yeah.
it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, I do wholeheartedly believe in the power of goal setting, right?
Okay.
So it's
Yes.
like you can say, "Oh, I'd love to do that someday," but unless you like actually like maybe write it down and say, "I want to get to Switzerland, but I'm going to do that because I've planned a trip to go to Germany and Switzerland, and who knows other places in that area." Like you just got to
Yeah.
make it happen,
Okay.
and I believe that you can.
I'll try that.
Cool. So we're here today because we're talking about Santa's Helpers SCV. It's a program that the JCI has done for a while, but I guess a lot of people don't know what it is. Like they'll see baskets all over town. Some of them are for Toys for Tots, or like with the Salvation Army or these other programs. But we do have our own, and so I wanted to ask JR, what is Santa's Helpers?
Yeah, so Santa's Helpers is a massive toy drive that we do each year, and it's to collect toys for underprivileged children in the Santa Clarita Valley. And so there's a period of time where we collect toys, people can donate toys to the cause, and we also raise money. And at the end, we'll have a big event where the children can come and pick up the toys, and we'll have activities and food for them as well. So it's a big holiday experience that we can put on for them where they might not have that otherwise. So it's great.
Yeah, we don't think about that a lot living in Santa Clarita because we're known for being like a pretty affluent area, but there's actually a pretty sizable amount. I don't remember if it's like 30 or 40% that are like living in below the poverty line.
In Santa Clarita?
I
haven't heard that.
I think it's a pretty big number. I
yeah.
heard that recently. I could be wrong. Maybe I have the stats wrong.
Could be right, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you would move. We have great schools, so I mean, people are going to do anything to get their kids into the right kind of schools and right kind of neighborhood, especially if you're trying to get them out of a bad situation. So, I'm sure that there are lots of those kind of families. I know that myself, my mom didn't have a whole lot of money. We were just kind of like in like the worst apartments in the best neighborhood, and just like
That's
kind
where
of
you wanna
living
be, right?
paycheck to paycheck for a lot of my youth. So like, and she moved here because of the school. So I'm sure that there are lots of families who are even, stretching the budget even more to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. What is actually, Justin, do you know the history of Santa's Helpers? Like, how did this program come to be?
Yeah. So we started doing the project, JCI did, in 2009, or no, 1999, sorry.
Okay. So that was early on, because I know the chapter only was founded in like 1998.
Yes. So it was one of the big signature projects that they wanted to do. They modeled it after a chapter in Pasadena, which did something similar called Operation Santa. And that really inspired them. And originally, they would just have kids write them letters and then take the toys to their homes. But ever since, it's been one of our longest running projects. So we've changed it, we've grown it, and we've made it bigger and bigger every year. So I think that's a great thing.
So we have done Santa's Helpers. I guess in the 4 years that I've been a member of JCI Santa Clarita, I've seen it evolve from being like we did stuff at the Paseo Club. We've done stuff at the Valencia Ice Station, like where we had a big Christmas party there, and the kids got to do some ice skating. And they had arts and crafts. We had carolers. We had a pizza party. There was a Santa. And a couple years ago, we partnered up with the Westfield Valencia Town Center, and they were really cool. They let us use their Santa. They had an ice skating rink there that was, I think, owned or operated by the LA Kings, and so the kids got to do that. We had a pizza party at the Dudes, so we were kind of like all over the mall, which I think was their point.
Yeah.
They
They
wanted
want
us
to highlight their center, yeah.
I think there was even like a little like jungle gym type place, and that was pretty cool. And we were looking forward to doing that again last year, but guess what happened? Pandemic.
Yes.
And so we had to transition to like a to-go model, which was a little weird. We still raised a lot of toys. Parents still got to pick up and get their just pick up the toys, but there wasn't that kind of experience. So,
Right.
JR, what can families expect this year from Santa's Helpers SCV?
Yeah, so we're going to try to come back bigger and better than ever. Like you said, they didn't get to have that in-person experience last year. So we're going to bring that back, and hopefully nothing changes. We know the winter could have some crazy effects on the viruses, but so we'll see what happens. But right now we're planning for it to be an in-person event at the mall. We'll look at some catering, have somebody bring some food in for the kids and their families. We're going to look at different activities. We've thrown around some ideas like gingerbread house building, creating a picture frame that people can take home. We could do decorating an ornament, something like that. And then also, hopefully we'll be able to have a Santa and be able to do photos with Santa, that kind of stuff. So a lot of great fun for the kids and their families. And we're looking to do it over about a 4-hour time span so the kids can kind of come in and depending on their time frame when they're available. And then of course we'll have the gifts for them as well that we can give them.
Yeah, that's a big draw. It's if I remember correctly, in the past we've had like 300 kids. Each one gets like an average of like 4 gifts. So that's easily over 1,000 presents that we've collected.
Yeah,
and individually wrapped and assigned.
Right. So last year, yes, they did. I was part of it last year as well, and we wrapped the toys. It took a lot of effort to do that, and each child, I think, got 2 or 3 last year, and we had some to spare. So we donated some extra toys to different organizations around town. So we'll see what happens this year. I think the community will show up, and we'll have extras again.
I think so. We do have a pretty generous community.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great to be a part of this. So with a program like this, with Santa's Helpers, knowing what we want the end result to look like for the kids, what goes into it from the standpoint of the co-chairs and the committee?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. So obviously the first thing is money. It requires a lot of money to put something like this together, especially when you're talking about food and activities. Toys, we're hoping most of that will be donated, but according to last year, we did have to spend some money on toys to get specific things that the kids wanted to get. So we're looking at that. Also, let's see, what else? Yeah, just we need volunteers, obviously, a lot of different hands to go into this. There's a lot that needs to take place right now where there's a lot of work that we're doing. And then about a week prior to the event, there's going to be a lot of different activities for people to do where we'll need some decorating done, decorating at the mall, setting up to get everything prepared, sorting the gifts, making sure that all the kids get exactly what they want. So we'll hopefully get some wish lists from the kids and sort the gifts out that way. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are not only doing a lot of work yourselves, but you're kind of a liaison between yourself and JCI and with the mall and with volunteers, with sponsors. Like there's a lot of moving gears here, right?
Yeah, a lot of different businesses that we're partnering with, especially with the toy collection. We're partnering with Starbucks this year. We just got that confirmed today. And so we'll have boxes around at all the Starbucks locations.
That's a lot.
And
what is that, like 30 locations?
It's 20. It was like 26 or 27, I believe, last year. And I don't know that they've had any new stores or any close, but it'll probably be around the same amount. And there's also other businesses that get involved as well. So we'll start contacting some businesses that have helped us in the past.
But by hosting a box.
Right. Yeah. A box that anybody can you go buy a gift and then drop it off at that location. Yeah.
Cool. Now, so we need donations, people to drop their toys in the boxes. Now, as far as sponsorships, what kind of sponsorship opportunities? What do the sponsors get?
Yeah, there's different sponsorship levels. So you can donate, I think, down to $20 and still be able to make an impact on, the event, and especially on the smaller level stuff for the kids' events. Mm-hmm. That'll help us get each kid an activity to do. It goes up to 100, 250, and our highest level, I think, is 5,000. So
5,000. Okay, so as a $5,000 sponsor, what would you get?
Yeah, so at the 5,000 level, you'll get a thank you video from JCI. So we'll have the team put together a thank you video that the business can share with all of their employees and even their own clients to show what kind of an impact they're making in their community. You'll get a full page ad in our 40 Under 40 program. So 40 Under 40 is another flagship program that JCI puts on. So for that program, you'll get a full page ad, recognition, and a logo on our event website. You'll have your logo on a banner that we'll have at the event, and an opportunity. We'll invite you to come speak at the event. And then, of course, logo listed on all signage. and some social media blasts as well to make sure everybody knows that we've called that level the angel sponsor, sort of like an angel investor, because that's going to cover a little more than 50% of what we need. So if we can get one of those, that would be amazing.
Okay, so you think that the entire event should cost under $10,000, which is actually not a lot of money considering that we've been making an impact on so many families.
Oh yeah, we're targeting over 300 children this year. I think we served about 350 last year.
Right.
So we want to at least that many.
That's awesome. That's great. Okay, so you said something in that sponsorship package that I think a lot of organizations don't think about. Like, obviously, we'll want to put their logo on our social media and our website and brochures and all that stuff. But for some of these really big businesses, right? So I'm thinking of like who's in Santa Clarita. We've got like the Princess, and the Scorpion, and the Six Flags, right?
Yep.
They having their logo on a flyer might not get them a ton of extra business, right? So they might not be doing it from that standpoint. But if it's something that they can share with their 10,000, 40,000 employees or whatever, saying, hey, check out the cool stuff we're doing, that makes them look better to their own employees, boost their morale. That's
exactly. They can post it on their website or share it on their own social media to say this is how we're helping our community. That might get people to buy into their business. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, as far as doing the manpower, either the day of the event or leading up to it, you're going to need a lot of hands. So how do we get the volunteers, and what kind of volunteers do you need?
Well, I think anybody who wants to volunteer can help. Like, we will find a place for you, and you will have fun. You'll be able to make an impact, and it'll be great. So whatever your skill set is, just contact us, and we'll get you into wherever you fit in.
Okay,
and whatever you think your strength would be.
Okay, so somebody is really good at decorating, right?
Right.
They could just say that. Now, I know that in the past we've done things like gift wrapping, right? We have to wrap over 1,000 gifts, so we'll need people to wrap the gifts. We've done gift sorting before, and people have actually brought their kids to that because when we find out that this family has a 12-year-old girl, an 8-year-old boy, and here's what kind of stuff that they're into. What we would do is we'd have thousands of gifts there, and we kind of go around with a shopping bag, and it's kind of fun doing shopping because it's like it doesn't cost you anything. You just get to find cool stuff, fill up the bag, and you're like, okay, here you go. And sometimes it takes a kid to look through that and say, you know what, this is a Barbie doll. 12-year-old girls aren't into Barbies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like go put that back and get her, a makeup kit or something. I don't know what girls are into, but it's funny that we actually have had kids on site to tell us what's age appropriate for other kids. Because what do I know?
I know, yeah. So 2 years ago, that's actually how I got involved with JCI, because I went to the sorting party. And I saw the massive effort it took. They had different groups of toys. Like I think one side was girls, one side was boys, and they were even grouped by age. So like maybe 12 to 18, or 2 to 5, something like that. And then sports or video games and stuff like that. And so it was great having some kids that are like, what would a 10-year-old boy want? And go ask one of the 10-year-old boys there and say, what would you want? Let's put that in the bag here.
Yeah, I always try to cross that line. So especially for girls, something about me didn't want to okay, she's gonna get a Barbie and a makeup and an easy bake oven or something. It's like, you know what, no, this girl's getting a Rubik's Cube and in a book or something like that. Because girls can do smart stuff too,
of course. Not just Barbies.
So you mentioned that was your first experience with JCI,
right?
Was that sorting party. And that was just about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, so 2019. And I had seen the advertisements within Santa Clarita Magazine asking for volunteers, and I kept seeing stuff about JCI. I'm like, what is this group? I looked it up online. I was like, oh, this is a really cool event, and this would be a good way to start volunteering in the community. I was looking for ways to get involved, and just went to the sorting party, had a great time, met some of the members, and ended up signing up the next day.
Cool. Who did you meet there? Do you remember?
Yeah, Christian, who was going to be taking over the VP of Training and Development role for 2020, so last year. So I talked to him and ended up joining the training committee because that was a big passion of mine. Also, Joe Beeler, And
I think they were both pretty new at that time too.
Yeah. I think that, you're right. And they ended up joining the board in 2020. So they were telling me about some of the visions for 2020, what they wanted to get involved in. So
Cool.
sign me up.
Who was chairing Santa's Helpers that year?
That year, 2019, I think it was Taylor Kellstrom.
And I think Neil.
And yes, yep, you're right. Yep.
Was it? Okay.
Neil Fitzgerald, yep.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Now, Justin, you're an even newer member. I think you only joined our chapter this year, right?
I joined in the beginning of 2021, but I'd been to JCI meetings like as early as 2019. I found out about JCI through a friend, Chelsea Orjakovsky.
Ooh, yeah, she was running a lot of people. Cool.
Yeah, and I met her. I was at her house, and I met Daniela as well. And they were talking about JCI, and I was like, "What is JCI?" And they were like, "Oh, it's a great organization." And they started telling me about it, and it sounded cool. So I went to a few meetings and kind of, fell off and did other things. But then decided this year I wanted to try to find ways to volunteer more, and I figured JCI was the best place to go, and it was. I've made so many new friends through JCI. I really love the social aspect. I love the giving back too, but it rewards yourself too because there's such great people and you make such great friends.
Yeah, that's something that I've been told by people like Charlene and Neil that have been in an organization for a really long time. And it kind of, it sounds kind of salesy to say, oh yeah, you're going to get whatever you want out of it, because it makes it sound like it's like this kind of like miracle thing. But the truth is, if you're into volunteerism and community service, you totally get to do that, because we have a lot of programs throughout the year in which you can do that, right? We volunteered at Bridge to Home, serving food to our homeless community. We've done stuff with like Pack to School and Santa's Helpers, and we've worked with a whole bunch of different organizations. But some people are just in it for the social aspect. Maybe you just want to go to the Chat and Chills, the breweries, and so they're a lot of fun. You could do that, or maybe if you're just in it for the training and development, you could just come to our trainings.
Yeah, we have great trainings, and anybody in the community is invited.
Yeah.
It's not just for JCI members.
So I think that's awesome, that you really could put as much into it as you want and get as much out of it as you want.
Yeah.
And some people, it's been really cool lately to see some of our members go off to get positions at the state level. This year we've got Charlene and Joe and Alex all in the state level. And then we've got people at the national level, right?
Yeah.
Jesper.
Yep.
And then international, like even Neil is like doing stuff like in the
He's all over
international
the
level.
place.
He's flying all over the world for JCI. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And especially this year, there's been a lot of programs and ways to get involved.
Yeah, you guys picked an interesting time to join, especially Justin joining at the beginning of 2021, because being in the middle of the pandemic, most of our meetings were through Zoom, right? We were doing our trainings, our Chat and Chills, our even our coffee meetings. We were like sitting at home and just like drinking our orange juice or coffee or whatever, like in our backyard on the laptop. Like it was a weird way to start the year.
It was, but for some reason I still managed to get a lot out of it. I still managed to meet a lot of people. I think when I first started, Brittany was the VP of, I forget her exact title, but basically she's the welcome wagon.
Yeah, she's VP of membership.
Yeah, and we started our friendship through the Zoom meetings, right? And so now we're actually really good friends. We've gone on trips together, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been great getting to know people like her through this organization. And I love the fact that a lot of the people here are also like, they're goal oriented. They're going somewhere, right? Whereas like some of your high school friends maybe didn't end up aren't as goal oriented, and they're just like in their own little zone, and that's fine.
Oh, speak for yourself. Right? My high school friends are surpassed me 20 years
really?
ago.
Oh, really? Yeah, maybe I hung out with different people.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really is a good group. And honestly, I wish I found JCI Santa Clarita way younger, because it's been here the whole time, and I've been here the whole time.
Right.
And I've gotten a lot out of it over the last 4 years, and I'm looking forward to more and seeing what you guys do and what even next year's team can do.
I know. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the new team's going to bring in for next year.
Cool. All right. Well, JR, Justin, it's been awesome having you guys on here. Looking forward to Santa's Helpers this year. Do you have the dates?
Yeah.
It's December 18th?
December 18th, yep. We're thinking 9 to 1 over at the mall, Westfield Town Center.
Cool.
So if anybody wants to get involved, certainly contact us. Look up JCI through Facebook or Instagram. Find all of our posts that we're going to have on there. And just come help us. We'll need all the hands we can get.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's just JCI Santa Clarita. And you do have a special email address just for this one. It's volunteer4santa@gmail.com. Is that right?
Correct. Yep. And we'll have a website.
And the website is santashelpersscv.com.
Yes, that's correct.
So don't check it out yet, but
or maybe it's still under construction. Hopefully by the end of October that we'll have that.
I think by the time this podcast goes live, we'll be able to share that. So thank you guys all for listening. This is Secrets of Tomorrow's Leaders. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. If you like it, please give us a 5-star review and share it with a friend. And thanks for listening, and thank you guys for being on.
Yeah, thank you for having us.